Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeCharis, CPA extraordinaire, coming to you live from downtown Levittown. Yeah, I'm in Levittown now. I keep forgetting where I am. Levittown, Long Island, New York. I am here with Mackenzie. Lepretre. Is it
Lepretre.
Lepretre?
That makes it fun.
Who is from FreeUp. We're gonna get freed tonight. So like our other podcast, I don't know who Mackenzie is. I just know that she was worthy enough to pass through my staff's gauntlet. So I'm really excited. She just informed me that our businesses are aligned, and I'll just take her word for it. So how are you, Mackenzie?
I'm doing pretty well. Again, I already told you this, but thank you for having me today. I'm excited to chat with you a little bit more and get to know you and everyone.
Awesome. So where are you right now?
So, crazy story. I'm actually based over in France. So, it's late at night here.
Wait, is that Lepretre?
Yeah, it's a French last name.
Is that a coincidence? Or that's where you're actually from?
So I'm not actually originally from here. My husband is. We moved over here about 4 years ago. Our company's headquarters is actually based in Tampa, Florida. So I was raised over there. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, we decided to make the move over. And I've been working remote from over here ever since.
Oh, wow. I should ask you what the tax structure is there, because I have no idea.
It's a little bit more crazy than it is in the States, that's for sure.
I got familiar with the Philippine tax. We were actually going to open up a corporation there, and then they scared me away. It's like, oh, they're worse than the United States. So anyway, we didn't come on here to talk about taxes. I want to talk about something more interesting. Do you speak any French?
I do. I'm at the intermediate level now. So luckily, after 4 years, I'm getting there. It's a little bit difficult because we all speak English at home, and I work a lot in English as well. But we're getting there.
I decided when I get English down, then I'm going to try another language.
That sounds pretty good.
But I commend you for. I did try, believe it or not, last year I was trying to learn Chinese. I tried learning. And it was scary because I started actually recognizing some of the characters. And I was living in an Asian neighborhood, and I wanted to see if people were actually talking about me. But that was tough. And then I tried Korean, and I just dropped them all. I figured I got to master English first. But so tell me about. I know that we've been out there in social media searching for influencers in the freelancer mode. Is that where you are?
Yeah. So FreeUp, we're a freelancer marketplace. We're a little bit different from free marketplaces like Upwork or Fiverr. We pre-vet a lot of the freelancers before they get on to the platform for the first time. So yeah.
You want to before I forget, you want to put your link in the chat?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So I can go ahead.
We like that. I like the fact that you actually interview them before you put them on there. I've had a lot of experience with sites like Upwork, and before that, what was it, Elance, I think. So you're actually connecting freelancers with clients.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah. So we have a lot of freelancers based obviously all around the world. It was funny that you were talking about opening a company and based in the Philippines. We got a lot of Filipino virtual assistants.
So do you target any specific area? Like I connected with the woman that has a large Facebook group with just bookkeepers and accountants.
Yeah, so I would say, when we originally first started FreeUp, we were very heavily focused in the e-commerce space, a lot of Amazon sellers. So that's definitely going to be our bread and butter for, e-commerce based virtual assistants, helping with product descriptions and everything like that. Have plenty of bookkeepers on the platform.
I'm seeing more and more of that,
Yeah.
It seems like it looks like there's a lot of detail involved.
Mm-hmm.
Drop shipping. We had a client, what the heck were they doing? They had a Walmart store, believe it or not. This
Yep.
wasn't our client, it was one of our students' clients. They had a Walmart store, and they would sell stuff and actually buy the stuff from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and our student's job was to match up this. I was like, that sounds kind of strange. Why not just set up an Amazon store? I didn't get that, but there's all kinds of models out there, and it is a lot of our students were e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
They have e-commerce clients.
Yeah, no, especially with the e-commerce side of things, there's like what you were saying, there's so much that goes into it. You have the owners who try to wear a bunch of different hats and do so many different things, and definitely starting to get a lot of things and tasks off of their plate is very important in order to continue to grow.
I really thought those businesses were like turnkey and they were easy. And I'm like, what? I didn't get why there was such a need for freelancers in e-commerce, but I could see that. When what we teach people from a marketing standpoint is to if you could specialize in anything,
Mm-hmm.
software, it could be you can be a specialist in Amazon stores.
Yeah.
I see that. So that's great. So what else? Do you see any other patterns?
Yeah, I mean, from a pattern standpoint, obviously e-commerce has had its challenges over the past few quarters, just with supply chain management and everything like that. We do also have a lot of real estate based clients and healthcare based clients too, who use virtual assistants for tons of different tasks. Obviously, real estate, you're talking to a bunch of different people all the time and
Oh,
coordinating.
that's endless. That there's all different. I have friends in the real estate business, and that can be
Mhm.
sliced and diced a lot of different ways.
Yep. Yep. So it's pretty cool because it stretches across almost every single type of business, just depending on the needs. There's different tasks, things you don't know how to do, or things you already know how to do that you have to do every day that you shouldn't be doing anymore. So it really just kind of depends on the
Yeah.
situation.
From my standpoint, what I find really interesting are the different like niches that are popping up that I never saw before, like all of these e-commerce. I don't know if that was from COVID. A lot of people, just started their own. I know like 4 million people in the United States decided not to go back to business, not to go back to work. And, as an accountant, I have clients all over the world now. So I think that
Mhm.
removed a lot of the barriers. In the Philippines, we started hiring them last year because my one of my coaches recommended it. He actually has a business called Hire My VA.
Okay.
I might want to connect you with him if there's a fit.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting to me. The world has definitely gotten smaller. I see even clients that they want to open up businesses that are foreigners and they need to be in the United States.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure somebody like you can. What I mean is, an entrepreneur can see opportunities out there. And not
Yep.
only that, Mackenzie, what I love is that you're connecting people. You're connecting people
Mhm.
that need to work, and on the other side, because I've been there, needing help.
Mhm.
So what sets you apart from the other players out there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a big part of it goes back to kind of what you just said in needing help and providing support to the client, because there are so many people who have never worked with freelancers before. And I think, obviously we're smaller than Upwork, Fiverr, all of those companies, but I actually think that's kind of an advantage for us at some points because we're able to provide that more personalized service. You can get on the phone, send us an email, here to help however we can. And then obviously, like what I mentioned before too, it's the pre-vetting. So freelancers to get onto our platform, they have to have proven freelancing experience. They go through a video interview with us. That way
Oh,
we know
cool.
they are who they say they are. And it's actually very challenging. I think we have a 2% acceptance rate for all of the applications and getting onto the platform.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
2%.
Yep. I'm pretty strict. I'm pretty strict, Joe.
What, maybe you're being too strict. I mean, that,
Yeah, no, it depends. But at the same time, too, it's you. I mean, if you're in finance, it's a lot easier to make sure that your clients are as happy as possible and keep them around for the long run and making sure that they're getting a great service too. And I mean, and then on top of that, then
that sounds like you must be getting the cream of the crop. I mean,
we try.
really? Okay, I'm gonna have to check out your site now. You got me interested. But is it because people? What I find is people don't. They're afraid of the video. They don't. A lot of people, a lot of foreigners feel insecure about their English. And I tell them, I'm like, listen to me. A lot of them speak better than me. So is that what you find?
No, I would say it's mainly just making sure that they have the experience they have the proven skill sets in order to do the job correctly. Because, our whole goal is to save our clients as much time as possible. And we all know, like, if you're a business owner, hiring and training, that takes the most amount of time of anything. So we want to make sure that they at least have the basic fundamentals, because no matter what, you're going to have to train them up on your personal business. But if we know for sure they at least have the skill set to take things on, then hopefully the clients have a good experience.
I spent decades, not months, not years, decades, and the truth was, I didn't know how to hire people. But, that's what I learned from my coaches, my mentors, business, because what he really did was he trained us how to hire people. And how to vet people, because so many times I hired people and I was like, they never could do it. I would be complaining. They didn't know what they were doing. Meanwhile, it was me. It was me. I didn't hire the right people for the right job. I didn't train them. I didn't have a system, but now I do. Do you train your people that are hiring VAs? Do you do any of that?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the services we do offer to interview freelancers for clients. That's more of a convenience standpoint, though, too, because it can be hard to, connect that time, and then we'll send you a recording. But it's like kind of what I've said, every business is so different. So that is why we offer to do consultations, as, just to make sure that what it is that you're looking for. From a hiring standpoint with freelancers, I think the most important thing is going to be communication and the freelancer's ability to communicate effectively. Hey, I wasn't able to get this done because XYZ. Hey, I ran into this roadblock. Can you help me out? Versus just, oh, there's an error message. I'm just going to sit at my computer for the next hour.
I've seen people totally stop because, I got a red light. I'm like, well, do the next thing. But,
exactly. So, and it's not always perfect. People are always people. We're in the business of people, and that's how it is. But
communication and cultural differences. That's what I find. Because some people, they're like very, okay, you got to have everything in writing. And if it doesn't, it's almost like, I just read the book, Ayn Rand. What the heck is it? It's a famous book. But it was like, if they didn't have the instructions, they didn't know what to do. They had to be told something. Atlas Shrugged. That's what it was. And so there are cultural differences. There is, communication. And one of the things that my coach taught us was to have everything spelled. And he does this with his people in the United States. They have a lot of meetings. They have team meetings. They have procedure manuals. Do you recommend any things like that for your people? Because you want them to be successful, right? I mean, you hire someone and say, oh my God, I got the best person in the world.
No, standard operating procedures, SOPs, we always recommend having them. One, because it will save you a lot of time. If someone asks you how to do something, you can send them the link to the document to go in and read through it, versus having to go over that every time. But then obviously setting expectations too, like what you were talking about, just the basics of this is KPIs, this is how much needs to be done per hour worked. I'm a really big fan of freelancers self-reporting as well. I think that saves a lot of time on the client's end. So having the freelancer send a report at the end of every week of here's everything that got done, here's what I wasn't able to get done, kind of helping them with that communication of, this is what I expect, this is what I need to hear from you. And I found that to be pretty effective too.
Awesome. Now, people that are, do you find, because this was me, I wanted to hire somebody, I knew I needed, but I really didn't know what I wanted them to do. I thought I knew, but do you get that? Like, people are just totally clueless. They just like, I'm overwhelmed, I need help. But
yeah, it's the overwhelming.
And they're like, everything.
Yeah, it's the overwhelmingness. I would say that's where we'll kind of like walk through. And that's a lot of what we do coach on, when we're doing these types of podcasts and whatnot, is how to figure out kind of where to start, because you really have two different types of tasks, right? You have expert level tasks, which are helping your company to grow. There are things that you don't know how to do. It's kind of like hiring a consultant, right? And then you have basic level tasks. It's the things that you need to do just to keep your company maintaining, pretty much the stuff you're doing every single day, and you just need to pass off to someone else. So every business looks different with what it is that they're needing, and it also depends on the strength of whoever's hiring, right? If it's the manager, owner, whatever that might look like. And so yeah, I think it really breaks down into those two different things, and kind of depends on how much help they're needing too.
So how did you wind up getting into this? And is this is your husband in this business with you, or?
No. So yeah, no, it's a funny story. So the original owners, I work for, we have a larger parent company that owns a few different marketing companies based out of St. Bay area, Florida. And we acquired FreeUp about 2 or 3 years ago. So the original owners, they've gone on and they've started a lot of other businesses. They're really great guys. Nathan and Connor. You can
look them up. Do they need an accountant? Are they looking for
I'll have to ask them, maybe. So yeah, no, I was a part.
Time with Joe.
Yeah, and I was a part of the original acquisition team, more than 2 years ago now, which is crazy.
So you actually helped them purchase I love that. I love that. I want to go out and buy companies because I could run them better than anyone else.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So tell me about, that's interesting, because what book I'm always reading a couple of books, but there's one about, it has to do with corporate culture. And I was thinking of, we have our own corporate culture, and that's basically all based on having fun. Okay, that's one of our core values is having fun. Yep. We're the only accounting firm in existence that are first. We're like, if you can't have fun, we don't want you. But if I had to merge with another accounting firm, I don't see that working.
No, it's true. I was reading I forget if I was reading a book or if I heard it from someone the other day, but the majority of acquisitions that fail, it's usually because of a culture difference. But you're 100% right in that, for sure.
So how did you, since you were on the transition team, and now you're running the business, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how many people are you responsible for?
We have about 35 on our internal team right now.
Wow. That's a lot of people to be responsible for.
That it is.
Take me through. This isn't the direction I thought we were going. I thought this okay, this was a typical, I had an idea when I woke up, but this is good.
No. I looked into the role.
So how did you approach it? So now all of a sudden you're somebody's boss that they woke up and said, oh my God, the owner sold us all out.
No, yeah. I mean, we have our own internal culture document as well. I think it's so important for every company to have. It was, when I first started working for the company, it was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. And I think it's really great. And, I think the first part is treating everyone kind of like they're a human being, listening to how they're, yeah, and it takes a lot of time, but in the long run, that's what I always say. And, we acquired the company right before 2020. So we had to not only deal with acquisition, the normal things that come with an acquisition, but then heading into all of that fun year as well. And it was okay. I think there's always going to be bumps and challenges. One of my favorite phrases from our culture document is we're not working in a hospital, right? I think that's really important for marketing companies to understand.
One of our team members was an emergency room nurse for 40 years.
Yeah. So I think that's really important, especially, we're working for a marketing company, right? Like we're matching freelance. We're not working in a hospital. No one's dying, and I think that's really.
We tell people there's no accounting emergencies.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell them nobody's going to the hospital because you made a mistake on your tax return.
Yeah.
Unless they have, yeah, I don't even want to, let's go. But yeah, there's no accounting emergencies. Let's keep it at that. But
yep. And then also, just letting people say ideas, right? And I think, you're talking about cultural differences earlier. I think that was a really, it was a challenge because we're very pro people stating your ideas. What do you think? Is this working? Is this not working? And a lot of people aren't always used to having that openness.
Are they all over the globe, or are they like concentrated in one specific country?
All over the globe. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So you're hiring freelancers to help you with the freelancing company.
Yep, pretty much.
So what I tell, because we do courses, we're teaching people from other countries how to do U.S. taxes, and I actually I try to define the freelancing, because I say you could either get clients, like let's say they're bookkeeping client, you can get a whole bunch of and actually have your own business like we do. You could work for a couple of accounting firms, let's say. Okay. Or you could just work for one big company, and they're all freelancing, right? So it's not like, because some of our team members just work for us. They'd be employees if they were in the United States.
Yep.
So because I think freelancing used to be like, oh, I just need somebody for a couple hours a week. Was that just my perception, or was that really how it started?
No, I definitely agree with that. I think just, because obviously I was involved in other marketing companies before that. And I do think it's transitioned a little bit to be more influential, if that makes sense, within the organization as a whole. And I think it's beneficial too, working with freelancers so much. A lot of people like to have that consistency, which I think is really important,
Yeah, I think also, I'm a lot older than you, I know that, but when I started working from home, was like you had to have a mail order business. There was no work. That was like a dream come true. Oh, if I could only work from home. And now it's almost like the norm. It's like, what do you mean why are you driving to the office? That's crazy.
Yep.
And so COVID had a lot to do with that. But yeah, so I could see, there's going to be, well, you see it. There really is no competition out there for you. You could say like, Upworks and what is that, Fiverr? I've used people from there, but there's probably tens of millions of people out there looking for work. And I know in the United States, we have a huge shortage of accountants. Okay.
Yep.
There's like, individuals, over 200 million tax returns were filed. There's over 30 million businesses. And there's probably only a couple of hundred, maybe 300,000 accountants out there. I'm looking for all the numbers and I'm doing the math. I said, oh my God, if we just split up all these, I would need to have like 800, we'd have to have 800 clients each.
Yeah.
And so there is a big need. And that's just my industry.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you finding? You must be like swamped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and we even see it on our end, with people coming into the platform looking for bookkeepers, even just to keep up with the most basic accounting tasks. And yeah, I think it really just depends, like what we were talking about, we do get a lot of freelancer applications because of what you were talking about. And I think, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Yes, we're busy.
So again, I like to look for patterns. So like what I saw with my students, a lot of them had real estate clients, a lot of them had e-commerce. What are people looking for? And as far as talent, what are they coming to you with? We hired an awesome graphic designer. She actually started doing our website. I never had and she didn't even know web design when she came in. We actually look for people that have capacity.
Mm-hmm.
We could teach people something like we couldn't teach her graphic design, but she had talent.
Yep, it's hiring the person, hiring for the things you can't teach people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, what people come to us the most for is going to be the virtual assistants, like hands down for sure.
That's like such an open virtual assistant for what, like an executive assistant.
No, it's for all of those daily, weekly, monthly repetitive tasks that and it's not even just business owners, it can be even team members or managers that they have to do that can easily get out to but they don't have, for example, the dev time to automate them, or first level customer support, checking in with clients. Hey, how's it going? Data entry, basic social media posting. Like what you were talking about. Obviously, graphic design is a really big one too, but you have Canva that you can easily create templates with.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what
any task that they're just taking over that SOP training document you already have. That way you don't have to do it anymore.
It just made me remember something. I was actually doing our graphic design before. I was like,
they're multi-talented.
Oh yeah. I was like, the first thing we need is a graphic designer because I'm not doing this. And then a social media person, and we didn't start hiring bookkeepers until later. It was like the social media, the graphic design, the web design. That was all stuff because I could do bookkeeping, but that stuff, I was way out of my league. But it's funny because I was actually doing it. I don't think I did that bad a job because of Canva.
Yeah,
it made it easier.
Yeah.
But thank God we have Janine. It's like, yeah. And then even now we have a woman that Victoria, she's probably the one that reached out to you. She's in the social media. She knows LinkedIn. And I'm like, I can't believe I was doing this. I was so bad at it. I thought I was great, but
it's the time. It's the things that are really time consuming. That's what it is. It's just very time consuming, and it has to be done consistently. Because it is things like that with social media. It takes the time, but you have to do it every single day, every single week, or else you lose that momentum. So
you got to be consistent. Now, once we got, Elizabeth, one of our assistants, calls it the flywheel. And it's like once you start getting that momentum, it's like, oh my God, now it's great. So I'm on your site here. It looks really easy to register. Are there any fees to register?
Nope, it's free. So it's free for clients to set up an account, and then you can even submit your job requests as well. So you only really pay once you start hiring and working with the freelancer.
Okay, so that was my next. I was going to put you on the spot and say, how do you make money?
Yeah. So no, that's great. There are fees. Obviously, we have to. It's a 20% fee on the freelancer's rate. However, we try to make it so it's not confusing for the client. The rate that you see when you're getting matched with freelancers is the rate you're going to pay. It's the freelancer who sees the rate difference over there.
Oh, so you're doing, are you billing them or are the freelancers?
It's so all of the billing goes directly through our platform, and it's based on a weekly basis. Mhm.
Okay, great. So you're pretty much like you're always tied into the freelancer and the client.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and that's
that
another reason people like to use us too. We help to manage all of the billing for them, keep track of all the invoices and
so
making
who's
sure
a
everything.
good client for you
Who's
on
a good
both
client?
freelancers and the end user like me?
No, I mean, for on the client standpoint, I would say anyone who has managed someone before. I think the people who have the most challenges using freelancers for the first time are the ones who have never even managed anyone before. I think you can run into some challenges there. So, if you've had one, maybe two people, and you're just looking to grow things out more, scale efficiently, that's going to be where the most success is. Honestly, not to sound like pretty much any niche, you've been there when it comes to virtual assistants and whatnot, just being honest with
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And
You're going to
yeah,
vet them before you even put them out uh, to your clients.
yeah,
So, okay.
yeah. And then on the freelancer side, you have to have experience, either extensive experience in your skill set and industry or previous freelancing experience. I think it's so important when it comes to what our clients are looking for and the success rates and
So it sounds like I was going to ask you what sets you apart, but that definitely sets you apart from
yeah.
Upworks.
Hmm.
Also, Upworks charges. I like the business model that you have because it's not complicated. It's Upworks, they charge the freelancer and they charge the person. So it's almost yeah. I've had
Yep.
some luck because that's all it was with Upwork. I can't badmouth them, but there's been a lot of because there's no vetting. There really is
Hmm.
no vetting. You get into disputes, and that's just not fun. At the end of the day, we just want a good relationship, right?
Hmm.
You don't want to waste time. The fact that you vet people. What about employers? Do you vet them? Well, you just told me you do. You don't take people that, or
I mean, no, we accept pretty much any employer. We do try to reach out to make sure that like you're fully supported. Like, that's my number one thing is if you've never hired anyone before, that's totally fine. Obviously you're going to have more success usually if you've managed someone before, and I think that's just learning how to manage 101. But
well,
no, for signing.
don't assume. Like I was really, really, but and you want to know what I learned? I kept
What?
hiring myself. I kept
Okay.
hiring people that wanted the
Yeah.
same thing as me, and then I was like, what I learned from and you might want to think about this. If somebody taught me, I didn't know I should be taught, but if somebody would have
Hmm.
taught me, listen, you don't want to hire yourself. That's why you keep having problems. You
No,
know,
for sure. And that's where like we try to do as much as possible. Like everything other than making the final decision of who you should hire, we try to help you with along the
what
way. So like
okay.
writing the right job description, figuring out what you want to need, making sure you're matched with someone who can do that, even maybe conducting the interview for you. But then, like, you have to make the final decision, but we want to help you all the way up to that final point. If
Be
that
like
makes sense.
Harmony, that site where they find your next spouse. That's what it should be like. Some
The
kind of
e-harmony for business owners.
that would be great. Everybody would save a lot of time. You'd be, yeah.
That's really what it is. It's mainly like the time that you want to save. When you're talking about Upwork, I think that's the biggest thing that differentiates us is, versus having to filter through tons of different freelancers and whatnot. We'll send you, it depends on the skill, maybe between 3, 7 or so, but never more than, unless you request it, never more than that.
Interesting.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So listen, we've spent a half an hour. That's like a lot more than most people's attention spans. You've given us a lot of information. I would definitely like to have you back again, maybe in 6 months, to see any what's new and exciting with you.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
any last words? I put your link in the chat.
Okay.
So how do people get to you other than besides just the site?
Yeah, absolutely. So my personal email is Mackenzie@freeup.net. Mackenzie's a long name. It's right there. If you look for me, you can find me. It's pretty simple and easy. And then obviously you can always schedule consultations with us as well. So yeah, more than happy to chat with anyone, and anyone's needing help. Like what I was saying, that's what we're here and what we try to do.
How about this? Any words of wisdom for people that are looking to hire a freelancer?
Start today, because it takes a while to train and onward. So if you're looking to save time in the long run, start today, because it's going to be a week or two before you start to see that between hiring and finding who you want, training them up, all of that.
Yeah, and you know another thing, and this is my suggestion for anybody who wants to hire. So have an onboarding process.
Mm-hmm.
We have a whole, before they even start, we have them set up a calendar. We give them the email address. We teach them how to, how to succeed in their job, because it's traumatic. You're starting a new career, a new job with people. So we try to make it, fun. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you so much. That's freeup.com, right? No, freeup.net.
Yep. .net.
.net. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Okay, awesome. Hang out. We're going to end the broadcast, but I would like to say goodbye to you before.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's our story, folks. We're sticking